This is Pamela Schneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. I'm coming to you from Monterey, California at the Organic Produce Summit.
It looks like you're enjoying the cloudy coastal weather.
Yeah, not quite so much. I underestimated my sun exposure based on how cool it is outside. So yeah, I even brought the family with me because it's so nice to visit winter in the middle of summer, and to get away from hurricane-addled Texas was also a nice bonus. So
Well,
yeah,
we vowed to wear our favorite Euro jerseys as the final is coming up this weekend, and our team's lost. So,
yeah, I brought a Netherlands jersey with me.
all right. So I picked a team who is the team I follow, and I will have you note both finalists in Copa and Euro have current and former Arsenal goalkeepers.
Well, there you go. There's some trivia for you. I'm just sad that my teams are all out of everything pretty much. So moving on.
All right. So let's talk organics. What's new at the expo that you learned today, or at the education program?
So the education sessions, they packed in a lot of stuff. So here's number one. They're going to be posting the sessions on the website, the Organic Produce Network. So I was only able to attend 2 plus the keynote, and there were 6 total. So if you were like me, or if you didn't get to come to Monterey and visit winter in the summer, you can go ahead and go watch those yourself on the website. The ones that I attended tackled, or at least tried to tackle, some of the confusion created by labeling and talking about, the organic USDA organic seal is kind of the gold standard for organic, but does it mean enough for consumers? As we're talking about all the extra stuff that people are putting on packaging lately, it seems like every couple of months there's some new kind of certification, and we want to make sure that consumers, or at least panelists, want to make sure consumers know what they're getting and what we're supposed to be putting on. One key tidbit that I really thought was interesting: Kim Shakal from Equifruit brought up the QR code conversation, and QR codes. What does your QR code go to? And if it's like some kind of grower tour, oftentimes consumers that when they're scanning a QR code, they're right there in store. So why not have them just follow you on Instagram? Or why not have them like an immediate call to action? I like it when I see a QR code that is an immediate recipe with ingredients that are like right there in the store. So that was good.
Yeah, it comes down to your audience, and your audience most likely is going to look at that in store. So you've got what, 5 seconds to grab them. You certainly can't show them a commercial.
Yeah. Nobody wants to scan a QR code and get like drone flyover footage with, in a world where lettuce is grown, nobody cares. I want to know, what is this in it for me? I rented a car while we're up here, and they gave me a Jeep Wrangler, and there was a QR code on how to take the top off. And that was perfect. And that's explained for sunburn.
Yeah, well, you got your money's worth.
Right. We had a lot of retail. I stuck to the retail education sessions as well, and went to one that featured some really interesting regional retailers. Of course, Jeff Cady is always a great panelist to have, talking about differentiation and what they're doing to drive organic produce sales. They also had an Atlanta-based market, Nourish and Bloom, which was on Shark Tank. And they are an AI completely automated market. And I felt like her input was really interesting and important and different. Yokes was also on the panel too. And seeing a retailer that's coming from meat and potatoes, Spokane, Washington, talking about how they handle organics, also really valuable content. But the gal from Nourish and Bloom, we were talking about what to do about all the data and information you have, and how things change, and how the buy desk is still so important to have humans on there, because we're talking about bricks levels of honeydews coming in, and maybe you got some really good stuff and that's why they're selling really well. How do we integrate that into the AI and data of it all? And she's like, this gave me some ideas to go back to what we're doing as far as tech and automation.
Well, you mentioned regional retailers and being on panels, and one of our favorite people in the industry who's been on a lot of panels, Paul Neeland, is no longer with his regional grocer. We had that story this week. The Gelson's had an executive shakeup. And then also in the retail space, Albertsons and Kroger released the specific list of stores that they plan to spin off to C&S Wholesale. And I linked that for our readers to see it. And there are 579 stores that they're planning on divesting, and 485 of those are Albertsons banners, the vast majority of which are Safeways.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to pour through that list yet just because I've been on the road. And when you said that, I mean, for me, that immediately said, wow, that tells you what Albertsons thinks of Safeway.
Yeah, I think it doesn't take a whole lot of retail expertise to know that they don't think highly of Safeways. It appears. So if the FTC gets their way and puts the kibosh on this merger, I mean, everyone now knows what Albertsons thinks about Safeways, and Kroger obviously was going along with it. So I don't know where that's going to end up, but it doesn't look like a happy place.
It looks like a spinoff to me. But because if you drive around, I'm in Monterey, and we were driving around Northern California, and this is an area where Safeway has incredible name recognition. That is just where people shop. This is not an Albertsons town, and there are a lot of those areas that are not Albertsons towns. So I mean, if you want to keep it all together, but as a former Safeway, actually, my family, I'm a legacy. My grandfather, my mother, my aunts, they all work for Safeway, so it has a lot of brand recognition in our household. But it's interesting to see that that's what they plan on spinning off if this all goes through. I wonder if this divestiture list is going to advance anything or move anything forward, or if we're just going to still be in a holding pattern. Who knows?
Well, you mentioned California, and I can look through the list real quick. In California, there's hardly any Safeways they're spinning off. They're all going to be Pavilions, Vons, and Albertsons. So I think you're right that that's a banner that does still have a lot of pull in California. Not so much in Arizona. That's pretty much the Safeways they're dumping.
Yeah, you know what though? You know who has a really strong brand in Arizona, at least? Fry's. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we'd see like even the Albertsons that they keep switch over to Fry's eventually, because that has tremendous brand recognition and loyalty, just depending on where they are. So not surprising.
Yeah, well, our readers, if you're in especially Arizona, Colorado, California, and Oregon, those are the 4 biggest states of divestitures. Go through that list, see if your store or you're somewhere nearby, see if it's on the list, see if it's going to change.
All right, well, I have got to start swimming upstream here. This is actually, I think we've only been open, the trade show's only been open for about an hour. So I'm going to start trying to make my way through. So we're going to leave it at that. That's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producefreebook.com and sign up.
I have to tell you, this looked really pretty on my counter this week. I don't know if I'm ready to buy it.
Ready?
It's ripe. I mean, it's ready to go.
You know what? The pineapple I had on my counter, I actually let it get too ripe. So I should have just bought it as chunks already, which I do half the time anyway. So, see you later.
All right.